The following podcast is a deep, shallow dive production.
Okay, let's go.
With foreign policy experience, one thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that. This is what I want people to understand. These people have, she has no idea what the hell the names of those provinces are, but she wants to send our sons and daughters and our troops and our military equipment to go fight it. So reject this myth that they've been selling you, that somebody had a cup of coffee stint at the UN and then makes $8 million after, has real foreign policy experience. It takes an outsider to see this through. Look at the blank expression. She doesn't know the names of the provinces that she wants to actually fight for. And there's her puppet masters right there, the donors right there that are playing her like the puppet masters.
Okay, enough. Have you had enough of me talking about the Republican debates? I kind of have. Anyway, hey, happy Thursday, everybody, December 7. Okay, again, a little bit late today, but it was because of that debate. And listen, I am not going to talk a lot about this today, but I did want to start off with that clip. I am going to talk a few things, maybe play one more, and then just kind of leave it at that, because again, the fourth debate cemented what I've said from the first debate. Literally, if they want to have a fair election and win fair and square, potentially, it's Trump. That's it. None of these guys have a chance. You know, what I did want to say about what Vivek was talking about in terms of Nikki Haley and really Chris Christie as well, both of them kind of got lumped in because those are the two guys that are very, 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 send Ukraine a blank check. You know, he called them out last night and said, name the 3 provinces that we're even battling over. Name the 3 provinces that you want this money for, that you want to potentially send, American families, sons, and I guess potentially daughters over to fight for. And she couldn't do it. And neither could Chris Christie.
Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Yeah. So do everybody a favor. Just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this race.
I mean, again, I know some people don't like the way he messages that stuff, but Chris Christie literally answered yeah to that. I'm not going to waste your time and play it again, but if you go back 15 seconds and listen, he's like, yeah. And after Vivek was talking, again, like I said, both Nikki Haley and Chris Christie, neither one of them rattled off Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. That sounds like some type of dermatitis or eczema cream. But again, the reason I'm bringing this up, and really this is the main thing I wanted to talk about in regards to the debate, and that is, you're talking about, so far estimates have it at $160 billion have been sent over to Ukraine. And there's more coming. There's a $110 billion aid package on the table right now in Congress for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and now the Republicans are blocking it, which is a little bit surprising because of the Israel thing, but they're blocking it because they want to add the border to it and probably jack that number up to about 130 million. But again, the thing I want to emphasize, and I'm just going to end with this on the debate and leave it at that, is, think about it. You've got two candidates running for president of the United States and running on one of their tentpole stances about supporting Ukraine at all costs. We absolutely have to do whatever's possible. And they can't even name on the stage the provinces that are currently engaged in military conflict with Russia. Seriously, I'd really ask you guys, I'm not saying support Vivek. I don't even know where I net out on any of that yet. Like I said, I look at that as common sense. It's like, man, I've heard Nikki Haley especially, she's warmongering for Ukraine over the past several months repeatedly. She could have owned him last night. She could have absolutely owned him and turned him into a meme last night had she just rattled off those 4 provinces. Had she just rattled off what is going on and where she wants to send the money. I guarantee you, just as social media is ablaze right now, talking about how basically Vivek destroyed her last night again, they would be talking about how Nikki destroyed Vivek. It would really be, there's this one hilarious meme where when somebody does something that shuts the other person up, all of a sudden they go into da 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 Snoop Dogg. It's like the Snoop Dogg song, and then somehow they get these glasses to come on them, and then they put a big stogie in their mouth. I guarantee you Nikki Haley would have a big stogie in her mouth today. That sounded really bad and weird, but you know what I mean. All right, just last thing on this. Like I've said before, I do see the mainstream media getting behind Nikki Haley for whatever that is worth or whatever that means. That's actually a better way to put it. New York Post, all the right-wing entities, Breitbart, Newsmax, News Nation. Oh, by the way, I did want to say this. The fact that debate aired last night on News Nation, which probably most people listening right now are like, what? Exactly. I'm pretty savvy with this stuff, and it took me a minute to find it. And then finally I had to find it on Rumble. What? Exactly. And then I tried to AirPlay it or Bluetooth stream it to my TV, which I ended up doing to my Fire Stick. Anyway, whole nightmare, but then it kept glitching, so I watched it on my iPad. All right, there's the fourth debate. What do I think is going to happen next? I do think Chris Christie is going to drop out. I think he endeared himself to Nikki Haley last night by coming to her defense. And so again, if the powers that be get behind Nikki Haley, I think Chris Christie set himself up to ideally be her VP. They do share the same warmongering strategies. And so I saw that happening. DeSantis, I don't know. Dude is just like background noise these days. So I don't really see him doing much. And Vivek, I don't think he stands a chance. I really don't. I could see him, potentially dropping out. Or like I said, if Trump ends up getting the nomination, which I don't really think is going to happen, I think they're going to catch him in something. They're going to do something with him. But if he does, I could see Vivek getting his VP slot. So, all right, there's that. All right, for those of you that keep up with the financial markets and especially crypto, there's been a little resurgence in crypto this past week. Bitcoin has gone over $44,000. Ethereum's gone over 2,300. Dogecoin, Elon Musk's kind of scam, I think, had reached over 10 cents again. And so there's been a little resurgence of it. I found a clip from somebody, and this makes a lot of sense to me. And, we've talked about central bank digital currency. We've talked about the petrodollar. I know it's been a little bit, but I'm playing this clip on purpose right now because please do not lose sight of this stuff. I truly think everything that is happening in this world, and maybe even back to March of 2020, it took place in March of 2020, I think there is something major with our financial system coming, and it's basically going to happen in 2024, and there is a connection to the 2024 election, and there is a connection to whomever could be the Democratic candidate, and then on the Republican side, like I said, the folks that play ball, they will play ball with this.
I believe the governments have test run enough crypto. Yep. They're ready to make that switch because the United States government almost has no choice. The petrodollar is not what it used to be. And if you don't know what the petrodollar system, you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Shuck it, duck it, quack, quack. Seriously, you're listening to the right podcast with Ray D.
Right? You really better know what the hell that is. I remember.
Today's the 52-year anniversary of Richard Nixon taking us off the gold standard.
All right, so that was also talking about the 50th or 52nd, I couldn't understand what he said, anniversary. Oh, no, it's the 50th because it was 1973 of Richard Nixon taking us off the gold standards. We're going to do a deep, shallow dive into Tricky Dick Nixon for sure because that guy is an interesting dude, and he definitely had a hand in a lot of things. The other thing is, by the way, there was a lot that took place in 1947, 1948. That's also the year that Israel was founded, but there were a bunch of other things that took place in those years. So I'm trying to really gather a bunch of information, not only about what took place, but what was it about that 2-year time frame that caused all those, giant things that continue to reverberate until today during that time. So I'll be looking into that. All right, I'm going to leave you with this clip. It's something I wanted to play before, and it's going to set things up for what we're going to talk about on Friday, which honestly, finally, I'll get into the 1917 Balfour Declaration, the 1948 stuff, a little more stuff related to, this conflict in Gaza, Israel, and all that. I kind of needed a break from that today, I'm not going to lie. But I did want to play this. This was a very astute analysis, and on the heels of the fourth Republican debate, I did want to bring this into the mix and into the discussion, or into the chat, as I like to say, because do not underestimate the power of lobbying and the power of special interests when it comes to money and politics.
The calls for a ceasefire are outrageous.
House Majority Leader Mike Johnson, lifetime of $47,000 in AIPAC donations, $30,000 this cycle.
Congress will continue to support, in a bipartisan way, the state of Israel and Israel's unequivocal right to exist as a Jewish and democratic state, always and forever.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, lifetime of $585,000 of AIPAC donations, $439,000 this cycle.
We stand with Israel.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, lifetime of $1.7 million in AIPAC donations, $546,000 this cycle.
I am here as an American to defend one of our greatest American values, the U.S.-Israel relationship.
House Democrat Richie Torres, lifetime of $342,000 of AIPAC donations, $291,000 this cycle. Oh, and former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi over there in the corner, lifetime of $608,000 of AIPAC donations, $51,000 this cycle. The Jewish people are an incredible people who have historically been persecuted and have suffered tremendous losses, the most recent of which is a scar that has not even begun to heal yet. Anti-Semitism is an evil that absolutely must be stamped out. Genocide is not going to stamp it out.
I loved all of that. I really did. And then I'm going to leave you with this. Democrats are blue, Republicans are red, but both are green. Both are green. Dollar bills, y'all. Call a spade a spade. I'll see you tomorrow.
This episode was brought to you by Boost Liquid Vitamins. Wake up, take your Boost, start your day. Drink your vitamins, build your immune system with Boost. Available on Boost.com.